Hi, Dale Helgeson here from the Outdoor Experience, and I have the great pleasure of having my good friend, former professional angler. He's up for the Hall of Fame this year, so we need to really pump that up because he's one of the most deserving guys to be in the Hall of Fame. Walleye angler, outdoor writer, he's got books published, he's been a TV personality, he's been an announcer for fishing circuits. Daryl Christensen,
Hi.
Thanks for joining me.
You're welcome.
So, we talked a little bit before this, and, you're doing really well. You're still out fishing a lot.
Yep.
Doing well. So let's talk a little bit about, your little history of fishing. Because you fished tournaments for a long time. A lot of guys don't get to fish tournaments that long.
Yeah, I've been fishing tournaments almost 40 years, and started with bass, graduated into walleyes. Kind of by default, the walleye circuit was starting. It was in the north. I didn't have to travel to Georgia or Alabama to fish a tournament. I could fish walleyes. So people say they're harder to catch than bass. I don't think so. They're just another fish. So you just got to learn how to catch them. And so I did well early on, won a couple tournaments, and got into professional walleye trail. Won a couple tournaments and fished 20 championships in 20 years, so I'm pretty
incredible
stoked
feat
about that. And yeah, it was the early days of walleye tournament fishing. Manufacturers were looking for sponsors or guys to sponsor. They had to be full-time. Well, there were no full-time guys. Guys that were guiding couldn't quit guiding to be a full-time pro. It cost too much money. But I was a writer and a guide, and I kind of put my guide business on the shelf a little bit and just started tournament fishing. And I was fishing 19 to 21 tournaments a year.
That's a lot.
It was pretty crazy. I mean, it was a lot, and it was too much. But because of that, I got the attention of the industry, and they began to sponsor me. And eventually, I got on Team Brunswick, and then Bass Pro, Team Tracker, and full-time pro. I could fish, I didn't have to worry about finances. Everything's covered, and you just go out and fish. You wouldn't believe how much more better you fish. I know that phraseology wasn't good. Much more better, yeah. Okay, I am a professional speaker, by the way. So, you fish much better when you don't have to think about finances, when you don't have to think about winning money, or getting big dollars from sponsors. Once that's locked in, you can just relax, do your job, and you fish less tournaments.
Yeah, it changes the focus.
Yeah.
And let's face it, the more relaxed you are fishing, the better you're going to be because you're relaxed.
Right, exactly.
When you're tense, it's hard to feel fish. It's just tough. Things go bad.
I have a tendency to run a lot in my early days of tournament fishing, so I burned a lot of gas, and I was so keyed up. I mean, if I didn't get a fish in 5 minutes on my best spot, I'm out of there, right? I might come back. I learned a lot, and when you're fishing different waters all over the country, like from Texas to New York and everywhere, Missouri, Arkansas to northern Canada. I mean, you got this vast area. You're learning, and every lake is different. I don't care what people say, oh yeah, that lake is this and this lake is that. They're all different, and those fish are different, how they react, what they're feeding on, and geographically they're different. Southern walleyes are different than northern walleyes. They're more bass-like. Yeah.
So you touched on a little bit about how sponsors were really looking for full-time fishermen back in the day to have them promote their products. Touch on a little bit as the industry has changed now and transformed into this different type of atmosphere where a lot of us as professional fishermen call them patch getters. But how they really affected the industry and how to become a true professional, and this is your career and this is your job versus having a secondary job that you have to go to to be able to fish.
Right.
You know, it's really changed. So speak a little bit about how you've noticed the changes back
Sure.
when your early PWT days even.
Well, first of all, you got to lose the attitude that I'm a pro fisherman, they ought to pay me to fish. Okay? Too many guys have that attitude. Nobody pays you to fish. They pay you to promote fishing, and especially their product that either takes them to the fish or helps you catch the fish or net the fish, whatever that product might be. Guys who sat around and complained that they weren't getting enough sponsors primarily weren't doing what you're doing. Okay, they were just fishing. They wanted to get paid to fish. Well, it don't work that way.
No.
You know, you have to be an all-around promoter, promoting your sponsors' products. Yeah, it's a performance sport. You also got to be able to do well and catch fish, and you know, because that does help. You're on television, you know, and you're talked about a lot throughout the industry. But you get talked about way more in this industry doing what we're doing right here today. And that's going to sport shows, going to boat shows, going on stage, doing seminars. A lot of guys never wanted to do that. So that hasn't changed any. What's changed, of course, is 2 recessions in the last 20 years, where sponsors have to kind of withdraw and cut back. And in the first place, they unfortunately cut back on is pro staff. So if you don't have more than fishing, you know, the TV guys, they got cut, but only a little. The non-TV guys got cut a lot. And so how do you make that up?
Yeah,
You do
and
more
it's
TV.
hard. It's
do more
hard.
TV.
You figure out how to get in TV.
Well, exactly. You'd be a guest on shows, and so, exactly.
So, I mean, I want to thank you for coming in, and it's great wisdom, because there's a lot of guys out there that think just because, hey, I fished a tournament and it's on TV, even if you don't get on it on the show, right? Because, you know, I fished a national walleye tour, but if you don't get in the top 5, you're pretty much not getting on TV.
Well, I'll tell you what, the all-time money winner on the professional walleye trail had one sponsor, because he refused to do seminars, refused to attend shows. All he wanted to do was fish. Now, he was a great fisherman, and he kind of made that up financially by winning, but he was never going to make a living. He still had to have a side job. You're never going to make a living fishing. In those days, $35,000 of expenses a year. So that was 20 years ago. So figure that out. Today it'd be 60. And so who's going to pay for that?
Yeah. And one thing you brought up was the TV aspect, right?
Right.
So TV is such a big thing. So when people are talking about, you know, being on TV and stuff, well, the TV is the #1 market still for consumers.
Right, absolutely.
So,
well, TV, live streaming, you know, there's a whole lot of stuff now on the internet that we didn't have back in the day, but it's out there now. But again, guys are too lazy to want to do it, so they don't do it.
Yep. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort, and people don't realize how much work it is. But you know, it hopefully pays off for everybody, and you know, the guys that are putting the work in get paid. You know.
There you go.
Well, I want to thank you for coming in and talking to us, you know, and look forward, because I know you're going to be coming up on the Outdoor Secrets Unwrapped TV show. You're going to be doing a segment with Chris, which will be a great show, so I hope people watch that as well, and thanks for coming in. We'll see you soon.
Come on down with me, get your fishing line. We'll be doing all the fun things that cause us to be losing track of time. Come on down with me, grab your rod, you'll find maybe in a little bit we all gonna be doing just fine. Hey, what you doing? Got a head for the dough. Well, we don't have to slave for Uncle Sam no more.